So for the rogue, you guys are gonna get to see how the babies are made, how the money's made here. All right, cool. So the rogue, this is obviously on Ash's Codex. Ash's Codex is primarily a data mine source, and it's been pretty reliable for the most part, so people have been using it quite a lot. So shouts out Ash's Codex for the information for us so that we can get a sneak peek into what the rogue is. All right. So I haven't looked at anything that they've done so far. I don't know what the rogue is supposed to be, but I'm pretty excited to look at it. Rogue is going to be my main, regardless of what it ends up being. I expect it to be really squishy. I expect it to be highly mobile, and I expect it to do a lot of damage. And I'm going to have a lot of fun reacting to this, so it's going to be pretty good. And we'll see if it changes at launch or anything. So, Ambusher. So when attacking targets from behind, you gain 10% bonus crit chance. This is just a passive. This just normally happens, I'm assuming. So that's kind of cool. You have Stealth. This is passively given to you. This will trigger Stealth's cooldown again. Gain advantage. Stealth can only be activated when 20 meters away from enemies. Fade into the shadows. Stealth, you are invisible except to party members. Movement speed is reduced by minus 20% movement speed. Stealth will fade upon most offensive ability activations, or if you are damaged for more than 10% of your max health over the duration of the buff. So immediately that screams out, like if you're at 50% HP, you can still go invisible, but if you take 10% of your max HP during stealth, you will become unstealth. So if you have to watch out for AoEs and all the likes of that while you're stealth, and you are kind of at an disadvantage because you are slowed, but you are unable to be seen beyond 20 meters. And 20 meters is pretty far away, so it's not like if you are getting chased, I don't think you're going to be able to vanish and just run away. So that's you have to be tactical with your positioning, which I like. Advantage. This is going to be the momentum of rogues. It's going to be their archetype ability. So you have gained the advantage. Certain attacks will consume this buff to gain powerful effects. So I'm not sure how advantage is gained yet. I don't know if it's through abilities. I don't know if it's already there. Like if you're at like level 100, or you have like 100 advantage, and slowly as you use abilities it goes down, and then you like slowly regenerate it, kind of like stamina or energy. So that'll be interesting to see how that is gained. Stab, 7 mana. Says constant cooldown. Maybe there is no cooldown. I'm not sure what this is. I think this is like your attack. Deals 100% pierce damage. Consumes advantage to deal a bonus 100% pierce damage, so about 200% on the stab. Backstab. This ability deals double damage from behind your target. Okay, so it can do up to 400% with advantage when you're behind your target. So that's a massive, massive number. As you can see, like if I go into my ranger skills, you have 125%, you have 200%, which is pretty big. This is one of my big harder hitting ones. And then snipe, which is 400% physical damage. This one takes like 3.2 seconds cast time. So it's a really big wind up to do that amount of damage. Backstab just does it. It doesn't seem like it has much of a cast time, and you just have to be positionally in the proper spot for this to work. I imagine with this amount of damage possibly consistently going off, you may be grabbing aggro from your tank if you don't do it during right timings and stuff like that. So that is something to watch out for. We haven't really seen tanks, have things pulled off of them, because the threat that they generate, the hate that they generate, generally is more than enough than a full party doing it. So it'll be interesting to see if a rogue could even out threat a tank. So that'll be interesting. Dash. When you have advantage, dodge is converted to a quicker dash that only costs 30 stamina. So if I were to dodge right now, I went from 110 to 60. So stamina on a regular dodge goes down to by 50 stamina. So this reduces it by 20 and also makes it faster, which I don't know if making it faster makes it a longer range or if it's just a quick dodge, but that's pretty cool. Cunning, advantage can stack once. You have gained the advantage. Certain attacks will consume this buff to gain powerful effects. So you can stack it twice or stack advantage once. So you have, I'm not sure how this is gained. We'll see. We'll see here in a second. So you have for your tier 1. So when I look at my skills, this is up until level 5. Once I hit level 6, then I have this tier. And then once I hit level 12, I believe, then I have the 3rd tier. So there, it looks like they're keeping the same system where you have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So from levels 1 to 5, you have 7 abilities that you can pick from. You have Feint, Shadow Step, Acrobatic Strike, Lacerate, Flurry, Kick, and Shuriken. You won't be able to get this until level 6. So let's start with, we'll go right to left because I can't read. Shuriken, 10 mana, 20-second cooldown. Throw a shuriken at your target to deal X amount of damage and apply X amount of shuriken bounces up to 4 other nearby enemies, dealing lesser damage each bounce. Favors enemies closer to the rogue. Okay, so this looks pretty cool. It looks like Katarina Dagger from League of Legends, from my immediate understanding of this. Pretty sick. Has a little bit of an AoE. Especially at early levels, this could be really, really good for some mob grinding. Kick deals 30% bludgeon damage, so it's really, really weak, but it does do damage and applies Tripped, which is massive. Tripped is a very, very, very strong status effect, and being able to use this every 25 seconds with very minimal mana seems pretty good. It consumes advantage to instead hit all targets within melee range. That's nasty. That is absolutely insane. That is a lot of CC. You can be a CC bot, essentially. You've gained the advantage. Certain attacks will consume this buff to gain powerful effects. And another thing to think about is, like, as a ranger, I don't have an interrupt. So having another archetype that has interrupts is really, really big. And being able to do this as a rogue is awesome. Can't wait. So Flurry, 3 mana. I think these guys are going to have very little mana. I don't think they're going to have very much intellect based on the amount of the costs of of what's being shown. Obviously, this is all subject to change. This is all data mined stuff. So this could definitely drastically change upon launch. We will be doing PTR testing with the Rogue very, very shortly, as Steven said in the live stream earlier today. So that's pretty interesting. I can't wait to test this out. Quickly strike your target twice, 40% physical damage, gain advantage, or gain flurry. So this is pretty weak ability. Weapon combo finishers grant a charge of flurry. Flurry does not reset your weapon combo. Okay, so you can use this as kind of like an animation combo. I really like the fact that these abilities are not resetting weapon combos. I think that's a really good direction that they're heading currently. I think more archetypes need to have this type of thing, because the weapon combo being reset between abilities can kind of it makes it feel really weird. It doesn't feel skillful. It just feels like coincidental at the moment. Flurry, 10% physical attack speed, lasts 6 seconds, can be extended up to 12 seconds. So each charge of fury will give you 10% physical attacks. Well, not each one. You will have 10% physical attack speed added. It will last 6 seconds, and then you can get more stacks of flurry to extend it up to 12 seconds. So you just need to attack a lot without Like, so if you're just auto attacking, then you're going to use flurry. This is kind of like take my hands off the wheel. Jesus save me. And you're just going to let your weapon attack. And this is probably going to be used during cooldown times off of your rotation. So you're going to do your rotation, then you're going to pop flurry, and then you're just going to keep on increasing your physical attack speed in the downtime. So this is like a downtime attack damage bonus. So that's pretty good. Lacerate deals 50% physical damage and applies bleeding. So a lot of these abilities are relatively weak, but we looked at stab, which is very, very strong. So these abilities are weak, but they provide powerful buffs to yourself. Deals 50% physical damage and applies bleeding if the target is already bleeding, instead of applies hemorrhaging. So pretty normal for the bleeding hemorrhaging status effect. Once again, I don't think it's that strong. You might skip this, but we'll see. With advantage, it will instead hit all targets in a frontal melee for 150% physical damage split among them. Okay, and apply bleeding at double duration. This feels relatively weak. If it was 150% damage to all targets and not split amongst the targets, it might be a really strong ability, but I don't think it's that strong. It's just another way to apply another status effect. I might skip this one, depending on how effective it actually is. Feint. Dash behind your target with a feinting strike, deal 70% physical damage, and gain maneuvering. Backstab resets the cooldown of feint. That's going to be nuts. That's insane. Feint, backstab, feint, backstab, feint, backstab. Maneuvering. 20% base evasion. On your next weapon combo finisher, gain advantage. Last 6 seconds. Okay, so you are going to need to use flurry to regain advantage by also using feint. But yeah, feint and backstab, huge combo that you're probably going to be using a lot. And the backstab, in the feint being reset by backstab means you, oh, but it's a 15-second cooldown. Okay. So you can only do this every 15 seconds. But you can do it twice. So you probably won't be able to do it more than twice, is how I'm reading this. So you're probably going to do feint, backstab, and then it's going to go on a 15-second cooldown if I'm not mistaken. Again, 3 mana. I'm going to assume these mana costs are not set in stone. But yeah. The fact that your next weapon combo, you gain advantage, you're going to have to like auto attack quite frequently in order to get your advantage back up. And you're only going to be able to really use this with feint. So you'll probably feint, backstab with flurry, do your weapon attack damage, or like your weapon combo, gain advantage, and then do it again and do like your next combo. Shadow step, teleport behind your target. If used on an enemy that is more than 8 meters away, gain advantage. That's pretty gnarly. More than 8 meters away. That's pretty huge. So that is another way to increase your damage by getting that backstab ability. Also, you're going to be at 200 to 400% every time that you use the shadow step and feint, as long as you have advantage. So once again, I would like to see how advantage is being built up. Acrobatic strike, quickly strike your target 3 times for 33% physical damage, whilst flipping on the other side of them applies undefined damage. If your target is facing you upon activation, gain advantage. Okay, so this is nuts. Basically, everything about the rogue is about getting behind your opponent, and these abilities are allowing you to get behind your opponent multiple ways, multiple different times. Depends on how NPC behavior is, and you may super rely on your tank in order to be able to get these positional things done. But I am really liking the direction of at least the rogue from like levels 1 to 5. So what I would do is level 1, I'm probably speccing feint, right? 2, shadow step, 3 acrobatic strike, and then 4 flurry, 5 shuriken, and then level 6 will be available. And you will be able to get this dash, and you will get this as the granted automatically, so it'll automatically show up for you. So that's pretty good. Ooh, you get the choice of poisons here for when you hit level 6. So that's kind of cool. And then hooked shuriken. If your shuriken hits 2 or more targets, the final target is afflicted with a hooked shuriken. Backstabbing or killing this target will cause the shuriken's cooldown to reset. This is a feels good ability. I think this is going to like allow you to do it as like a nice little finisher. Backstabbing or killing this target will cause shuriken's cooldown to reset. So, yeah, I think this is going to be one of those things where it's like the blitz cooldown reset upon like lethal blowing. Sounds really cool in nature, but I don't know how often you're actually going to be able to do this like efficiently, effectively. It may be one of those feels good ones that you spec later into your build. Okay, and then now you have the choice of 2 poisons, it looks like. So you can do it on this one and on this one. So you can get chilling poison, which is your damaging abilities and 3 specific hits in each. Gain chilling poison. Your damaging abilities and 3 specific hits in each melee weapon combo will apply chilled for blank seconds. Additionally applies poisoned. Only one type of poison can be applied to your weapons at a time. Last 10 seconds. So it's a 20-second cooldown. You probably apply a poison for an opener, and then like in the middle of your combo, or like after applying the one poison or getting the status effect that you need, then you can apply the next poison, and then you continue the fight that way. That'd probably be the most efficient way to do it. Poison deals 5% health per stack, so it's a dot every 2 seconds. That's fucking massive, actually. Last 20 seconds stacks up to 10 times. You get deals 50% on like max stacks. That's pretty nuts. Okay. So you're definitely going to want to get a poison for sure. Draining poison. Your damaging abilities and 3 specific hits in each melee weapon combo will drain mana from your target, granting it to you based on 100% of the damage done by the attack. Additionally applies poisoned, only one type of poison. That's also pretty insane if you're just trying to drain like clerics or bards or tanks of their mana. This is another way to deal with them. Because as we all know, mana consumption is massive in Ashes of Creation. If you can't cast abilities, you're not doing a whole lot. So huge. Weakening poison. I doubt we'll be seeing much of this. You maybe see it in a few scenarios, but not too many, I would assume. So your damaging abilities will apply weakened for X amount of seconds. Additionally applies poisoned. What is weakened again? I think there's another one that has this. That's shaken. Is it Vinefield? No. There should be an ability that applies weakened. I guess not. I think it's a fighter thing, maybe? It's probably a fighter thing. I think it's their disable evasion. So this will be like against like tanky targets like your armor. So you're going to want to, when you want those accurate hits and you want to hit a lot, you'll use Awakening Poison for that. Wounding Poison, obviously this will be used against like healers because you're going to apply Wound, which will, you have a 50% chance to apply Wounded, which will give you a 50% chance to stack it up to 10 times. So 20 hits could possibly grant you 10 wounded stacks, and clerics were going to be wanting to purify that so that they can actually heal their targets. So if you're up against healers, the wounded poison is actually pretty good. I think the two that you're going to want to use the most is draining and chilling, but that's just me. You may spec into weakening if you're up against a tanky target. And then obviously you would go wounding against healers, so that's that. This seems to be the same ability as one of the icons, as one of the fighter ones. Thrash deals 75% physical damage to your target. This ability can be activated up to 2 more times in a short time frame for increasing the damage. However, you must activate another ability before it can be recast. Okay, so this is like one of those like animation filler ones. You need to do a different type of animation in between these thrashes. Once again, relatively weak. The third and final strike will apply bleeding to your target and grant advantage to yourself. These abilities are weak, but they are granting advantage, which is actually really, really big for you. So Thrash is probably going to be absolutely needed on your barge simply for the fact that it grants advantage. Thrash does not reset your weapon combo. That's good. So you could do like Thrash, Flurry, and then you could do Thrash again into a feint, into Thrash, into like backstab, into shadow step, into backstab, and you're gaining a lot of advantage that way. And you're able to do like a combo, and it also doesn't stop your weapon combos from happening. And also you get that physical attack speed to really increase those damage in between those ticks. So you have that. You have Thump, which deals 50% bludgeon damage, which is not normally for rogue. You normally do a lot of piercing. Apply dazed and apply silenced for 1 second, which is insane, especially if you want to stop a mage from blinking. If you have advantage, instead apply silenced for 4 seconds. That's massive. Really, really big counterplay to mages. So there you have that. Probably not the biggest in PvE, but there are some spells that you want to silence and that can't be like tripped. So there's that. Double strike. Strike again with the last used melee ability from this list. Stab, lacerate, or thump. So huge. That's an absolute massive ability to have. So far I'm liking every single ability besides maybe lacerate. Lacerate doesn't seem that strong. Everything else seems really, really good. Sap. Classic World of Warcraft one, 20-second cooldown. A lot of these are 20-second cooldowns. So stab your target with the draining dagger that deals 50% physical damage and applies 50% physical damage. Deals 50 damage and applies physical damage. Okay, interesting. If the target has 10 stacks of your poisoned, gain advantage. Okay, so you're going to want to poison, get it stacked up, and then sap them. So that's pretty good. Nice, nice, nice. Sleep dart. Shoot a sleep dart target enemy that applies, I'm going to assume sleep. Minimum range of 8 meters. I don't know what this does. Could be like incapacitation for X amount of time. That's what I'm going to assume, because that's what sleep does for mage. So I'm just going to assume it's another CC ability, another good thing for like PvE management. Rogue is looking really, really good for both PvE and PvP. So far, I'm really liking it. I do think you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 6, 7. Oh, you probably want to get a poison first. Probably go chilling. That'd be my assumption. Or you could go draining if you're having mana issues, but a lot of these are like low mana costs. We'll see how it is on launch. But you'll probably go chilling, and then you'll probably go thrash, and then double strike, sap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 into your next set. Actually, I can click these, right? You can just 3, 4, 5, 6. Chilling Poison into Thrash, into Double Strike, into Sap. Wait, these are coming online super early. These are not normally coming online that fast. Wait, what? Is it really like that? So level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. Okay, so now you're level 6, level 7, level 8, 9, yeah, 9, 10. Wait. Requires 4 points in previous skills. Why can't I level up Sap? Does it need another poison? Interesting. It's not letting me level Sap. So 1, 2, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm on level 11. Okay. Interesting. You're going to want to pick up these probably later. These 3, you definitely want to pick up Kick at some point. You definitely want to pick up Sap. But okay, Ruthless. Stab and Lacerate have no cooldown when used with 2 stacks of advantage. Oh, that's gnarly. You're going to immediately want to spec into that. What is this? Padded Tool Belt. Your tool abilities can be used without breaking stealth, but increase your chances of being detected. Okay, interesting. I'm not sure how you increase your detection radius with true stealth, but we'll see. Expanded tool probably turns into like a camouflage, maybe? Expanded tool belt. Your tool abilities have an extra charge. You're probably going to want to look at this. This looks pretty good. I do like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is good. It'll be interesting. This will depend on like how it plays out, how increasing your chance of being detected actually, what that actually means. I think that's probably going to be a playstyle choice. I think both these options are pretty cool. Having two charges or having being able to use it while in stealth. I think that's a really cool game design mechanic. This one I've read this one before. It's insane. This is one of my favorite abilities. Dash 20 meters forward to your enemies. Now, keep in mind that stealth can only be activated when 20 meters away. So this you are going to either use as an opener or a gap closer for a finisher, I think. So it's on a 90-second cooldown, so it is kind of like an ultimate ability, which is really, really cool. After a short delay, it deals Shadow Cascade to each target hit, increasing based on the amount of missing health on the target. So targets below 66% health suffer bleeding. Targets below 33% health suffer hemorrhaging. So you're using it as an opener probably isn't that great, but depending on like how long the actual like battle lasts and stuff like that, you can use it as a gap closer. But I would probably use this as a finisher based on the tooltip text. I love the Shadow Cascade. Nothing personal. Nothing personnel, kid. Advantage, you have gained the advantage, obviously. Requires and consumes advantage. So, I mean, that's an awesome ability in itself. It looks like these are more tools. It looks like almost everything on the right-hand side here is tools. So you have Caltrops next, which is throw out a field of Caltrops at target location. Enemies that move through this field become snared, aka slowed. They take blank each 1 second and have a chance to become dismounted. So if you are going up against a mounted target and you throw down a Caltrops, their day could be ruined. I don't like the chance thing. I think if you're gonna do it, I think it should have less chance. I think RNG is just really bad mechanic when it comes to archetypes and like class design. Anything that grants like chance outside of like critical chance striking. I think it's pretty bad. Grappling hook. Throw a grappling hook at your target location and pull yourself to that position. So it's the opposite of the tank grapple, which is pretty sick. That's pretty nuts. I love that. Hopefully it works, unlike grapple does. So that's pretty cool. Taking direct damage during this effect will cause you to become tripped for 1 second. So it has a negative side effect of this. So you're going to want to use this probably. I wonder, you might be able to use grappling hook into an object like a tree or a cliff instead of a player, but obviously you could use it into a player. I wonder if you could use it into an ally. I think this could probably have some really cool tricks. I think you're going to use this as a disengage if that's the case. And you could also probably do this to allies. It has a 30-meter range. I like this a lot. And if you're going to be using this as a disengage tool, taking direct damage during this effect, causing you to become tripped, makes a lot of sense. I think that's a really cool mechanic. Smoke bomb. I kind of expected this, and I also really love this idea, especially with UE5 and volumetric, fog and all that stuff. Throw a smoke bomb down beneath you that lasts 10 seconds. While you are within, you gain blurred. Enemies that are periodically afflicted with blank damage. So your smoke bomb actually does damage. Smoke bomb also grants linger apply every 4 seconds. So whatever that is. Blurred is 50% base evasion. So the evasion tank is a real thing. Or rogue evasion tank is pretty good in this, but you only have a 90-second cooldown, so that's a pretty big cooldown. It is definitely a oh shit moment when you're using that. Chilling smoke. Smoke bomb also periodically applies chilled. Movement speed reduced by 50%, lasts 6 seconds, and can be extended up to 15 seconds by subsequent applications. I do like the fact that they're using a lot of chilling stuff. You only really see it with mages currently, and chilled is a really cool status effect and condition that can be applied that is pretty underutilized for most archetypes. So the fact that rogue is having the ability to use this status condition, I think is pretty sick. You also have adrenaline, gain undefined damage usable without breaking stealth. This is just a damage buff, so that's pretty cool. Umbral cloak. Apply Umbral Cloak. Consumes advantage to clear all damaging debuffs. Oh, so this is your cleanse. So it takes advantage to cleanse. You gain 100% magical evasion, lasts 8 seconds, but with advantage, you will also be able to cleanse, and you will also put your character directly into stealth. So this is another disengage tool. I really, really like this. You are going to have, I don't know if there's enough advantage building abilities. You have Thrash. You have, Flurry, your weapon attack combos. There's not a whole lot for you to gain advantage. And there's a lot of abilities to use advantage. So this could be really interesting. You won't be able to do like a full combo with everything with the rogue, I don't think. Death's Mark. Your target is afflicted with Death's Mark. Death's Mark is marked for death by a rogue. Takes 10% more damage from their attacks. Lasts 60 seconds. So you are going to mark a target and you intend to kill them in your one rotation. After their first attack, the duration of this debuff is set to 30 seconds. Okay, so it starts off, you have the ability to mark somebody, follow them for 30 seconds within stealth, and then you can begin your attack and you still have 30 seconds remaining. I wonder if it's like you mark them, wait 59 seconds, you attack them, and then the duration of the debuff is set to 30 seconds still. That'd be interesting. So you may have like a 90-second window, possibly, to use this. We'll see when it comes out or when I test it in PTR. If you kill the target that is with your mark, you will be healed for 50% of your max health, and the cooldown will be reset. That's massive. Holy, you could go on a killing spree with Death's Mark and just on a rampage with Rogue. This could be really cool. This was like a Rogue fighter with blood fusion. This could be sick. Death's Mark is only usable while stealth and has a minimum range of 20 meters. So yeah, makes sense. You are going to be beyond 20 meters away while stealth, and you will only be able to mark while stealth. So makes sense. Chill of Death, another chilling thing. Death's Mark applies chilled upon initial application. If the target is already chilled, they instead become frozen. Okay, so combo idea. You use Smoke Bomb with Chilling Smoke. You use that with advantage, and you go invisible, cast Death's Mark, and have Chill of Death. They're frozen. You can then Shadow Step and then do your combo. That's pretty nuts. I really, really love that. You're probably going to want all of these, right? So we're at 19. We'll just pick one of these. Then you're going to want to go with Draining, most likely. You definitely want Sap, and then you definitely want Sleep Dart, and you want Kick. Oh, God. So you have 24. So Sap would be your last one. The only thing that you don't really spec into is the Hooked Shuriken, I guess. So currently you have basically all abilities for Rogue once you level up. Except for Lacerate and Hooked Shuriken. You probably just don't use those. That's pretty good. I like the way that Rogue is turning out. Seems really mobile. Seems like there's going to be a lot of burst potential. There's going to be a lot of outplay potential. There's a lot of utility with it. There's a lot of good PvE, PvP scenarios that you can use. A lot of stuff. It's very situational. I think to play it correctly, you have to position well. You have to know which combo you're doing, how you're doing it, and what is absolutely needed in every situation. I think it is going to be a very, very high skill cap archetype, and I'm a huge fan of that. So the more skill that's involved, I really, really like this. I like seeing it seems to be very diverse in the ways that you can approach scenarios, which is exactly what a rogue looks for. I think for counterplay against a rogue is just going to be like, if you are looking at a bad rogue, you will know because they won't manage their advantage properly. They won't be able to stack it. I think rogues not auto attacking is going to be pretty interesting. You're obviously going to want to go with weapons that increase attack speed so that you get advantage as much as possible. So I imagine short bow double daggers is going to be a very, very popular combo. I don't imagine there's any other faster weapon in the game. I think that's it. So you're going to go dual wield dagger, short bow, gain the advantage as much as possible, and also finish your weapon attack combos as much as possible to gain the advantages so that you can use different sort of rotations and different abilities for different scenarios. There's a lot of CC involved. There's a lot of, yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of skill expression. Rogue looks really exciting. I can't wait to get really, really good at this and use it in PvP and make people absolutely cringe their heads off. That'll be really, really fun for me. So Rogue looks really fun. I love all of these abilities. I think the only ones, Lacerate seems weak. Hook Shuriken seems too situational to really use. I think the poisons are pretty, like Draining Poison and Chilling Poison seem too OP. You'll use Weakening and Wounding Poison in very, very limited scenarios, I think. Even when you are in large scale PvP, I can't imagine using Wounding Poison or Weakening Poison. I think you're always going to choose Chilling and Draining. And then, yeah, I don't know. I think, oh man, this is going to be really fun to play. It's going to be super fun to play. Thrash is going to be really skill dependent. Weapon combo finishers are going to be really dependent on you paying attention to what is your weapon combo finisher and how well you're using it and how well you're building advantage and the timings in between those. It's going to be a lot of fun. I imagine this class is going to be really squishy. I imagine there's going to be really bad players that don't know how to use advantage, but you will have rogues that are really, really good, and it's going to feel impossible to play against them. I feel like tanks, fighters, and I think that's probably it. I think those are the counters to rogue at the moment. Maybe cleric if they can outlive the sustain, but with the amount of utility that rogue has, I think rangers, bards, clerics, and rangers, bards, and clerics are probably going to have the hardest time. Oh, and mages. And mages are going to have a really hard time against rogue. That is if mage doesn't spot them with arcane eye first. If mages spec arcane eye and they spot the rogue out, it looks like that could be like an even battle, perhaps. Depending on like who bursts who first. So that'll be really fun. I can't wait to see it. I'm going to be testing it out in PTR as soon as possible. Super, super excited.